As we go back to Dallas, Al, Denver, defending Super Bowl champ, starts 0-2. If Atlanta loses tonight, they start 0-2. We've never had the two teams in the Super Bowl start 0-2 the next season. What a wild start this season, huh?
It's unbelievable. I mean, the standings right now are upside down. Detroit is 2-0. Dallas would join them at 2-0, and the only other unbeaten team in the NFC is St. Louis, 1-0 with a bye and back in action next week against the Atlanta Falcons, who came out tonight with Dan Reeves going to the very back of the playbook on the first offensive play, with young Tony Graziani making only his third career start. The flea flicker, Jamal Anderson to Graziani, and they would have had 6, but Callaway dropped it. And then Graziani had this pass picked off by Dexter Coakley. That led to a field goal. Cowboys led 3-0, and then Emmitt Smith made a drive pay off with a touchdown run. It's 10-0. The Cowboys on top. The Falcons are still in the game, Boomer, but can they generate enough offense to win the game is the question.
It's unbelievable. After the first interception that Graziani threw, it looked like Dan Reeves said, you know, enough of this. We're going to be real conservative. We're going to take our chances. They're going to have to win it on defense. They're going to have to win it on special teams. And if they don't have the confidence in him, they're going to have to go to Danny Cannell. At least he has started in this league. He's a little suspect with his confidence right now. Dan Reeves told us yesterday, but you have to be able to move the ball. You have to be able to drop back and complete passes, especially in the face of the blitz, as we've been seeing tonight.
So the Dallas Cowboys trying to go 2-0. Atlanta trying to avoid going 0-2 in the second half, coming up from Texas Stadium on Monday Night Football. We're back as we start the second half, and when we ended the first half, we talked about extending the period on a fair catch, and we will go through that with you momentarily. But Dallas had an opportunity to kick a long field goal at the end, but it went by the boards. We start the second half, and Dwight fields it at the 1-yard line after the going kick. And good coverage. George Teague all the way down the field. Now, the first half ended with an Atlanta punt. It was fair caught by Dallas at the Atlanta 47-yard line. The rule is very simple. There it is. If a fair catch is signaled and made, which it was, receivers may choose to extend the period with one fair catch kick. That meant Cunningham could have attempted a 57-yard field goal without a rush. So he could have run up to the ball as if it was a kickoff and kicked it through the uprights. The only downside is it could be returned if the kick was short, but it's either a case of the Cowboys not knowing the rule or simply electing not to take the chance. In any event, what went by the boards was the opportunity for Cunningham to kick an uncontested, in terms of the defense rushing it, field goal. This is Hansbart for 3. Let's go to Leslie.
Al Changeli would have liked a little more offense. He's pleased with his defensive pressure on Tony Graziani, but he said offensively there are too many negative plays, too many 3rd and long. Dan Reeves said he's pleased with Tony Graziani, who is starting the second half of his NFL career. Eugene Robinson said coming off the field, we have got to win this game to show people why we belonged in the Super Bowl. Al.
Thank you, Leslie. 2nd down and 7. Both coaches from the town of Americus, Georgia, as it's sidearmed and caught up at the 23-yard line by Chris Callaway, a couple of yards shy of the first down.
You know, it's interesting, Al, in that fair catch kick rule. In all my years of playing in the NFL, I have never seen that play, but every coach that I had, maybe with the exception of one, went over it in meetings with us and talked about how this could be a game winner and why we have to practice this. And I would be shocked if the Dallas Cowboys did not know that rule.
I would too, and the reason is they actually called for the fair catch. Otherwise, if you don't know the rule, you would just let the punt bounce around. Why would you fair catch it to begin with and take the chance of fumbling a fair catch? This is Graziani rolling out, losing the football. It's loose at the 25-yard line, and the Dallas Cowboys have it.
The case of a player trying to do too much. That time he got out of the pocket. He was trying to go to Santiago on the other side, and he was covered, and he tried to make something out of nothing.
Alonzo Spellman recovers for Dallas.
There's a lot of pressure on this kid trying to play this game tonight, and he knows that he hasn't moved the football team, so he wants to make some plays. He knows that he has to get first downs to take the pressure off his defense. Right here, he should just tuck it away, put 2 in, or just throw it away. Quarterbacks are not great runners in traffic like that. And Greg Ellis made a heck of a play knocking that ball out.
First down, Dallas at the 26-yard line. Smith It's taken down here by Shane Dronette.
I don't want to belabor the point, but going back to their fair catch free kick deal, one of the things that they might not know is the interpretation that you can extend the period. I'm sure that they know about the fact that you can kick a free kick. I was even caught off guard a little bit when you were going through the rule itself and telling me that they could actually extend the kick right here. And I don't ever really remember talking about that aspect of it.
Something that's rarely been seen, but they could have had Cunningham attempt a 57-yarder with a full run-up as if it was a kickoff. Second down and 8. A little dump off to Emmitt Smith out in the open field. And he gets taken down up at the 22-yard line by Archambault and Crockett.
I'm really impressed with the defense of the Atlanta Falcons. They're flying around. They're making plays. They realize that this game basically right now is hanging in the balance, and they have to make plays. And you talked about it earlier, how they created turnovers last year. They were plus 20 in turnover differential. They realize now that the pressure is on them. They might have to score tonight. Sure. They probably are going to have to score.
Ismail is back in the game. There he is at the bottom of the screen. So he said he was going to come back in, and he doesn't lie. And on 3rd down and 7, it's caught over the middle at the 15-yard line by Ernie Mills. And a first down. Rocket, Heisman Trophy winner at Notre Dame. There's a flag down. Then he played in the Canadian League to the Raiders, Carolina, and then picked up as a free agent.
This is courage right here by a receiver going over the middle. Troy throwing a nice accurate ball into his body, knowing that Eugene Robinson is out there looking to knock your head off.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 75, with a half the distance to the goal, first down.
Shane Dronette.
See Dan Reeves right there. One thing that will drive a coach crazy is a penalty like that.
He just said, come home, Shane.
That's exactly right. Get over here and get on the sideline and let me talk to you, son.
Ed Jasper into Spellham. 1st and goal from the 7. Emmitt, another touchdown. Among other things, adds to his rushing touchdown career mark and moves him past Dorsett into 4th place all time on the NFL rushing list.
Terrific blocks at the point of attack by Stepnoski and Allen this time. Watch the center and the left guard right here take on 2 guys, push everybody out of the way, and when you get down by the goal line, running backs like that know how to get in the end zone.
Cunningham for the point after. And turnovers doing Atlanta in again, as was the case last week when they coughed up 3 to Minnesota. 17-0 Cowboys. Well, the Atlanta Falcons and the defense, that's Eugene Robinson over there, and his troops have found themselves in a hole, a 17-0 hole, minus their starting quarterbacks, minus their starting running back. Chandler and Anderson both out as Tim Dwight from the 1 brings it back to the 19-yard line.
He is fun to watch, isn't he? and look who's there, Dat Win. And we talked about him a little bit earlier, that he's found his way onto the nickel defense for the Cowboys. This is a player that makes plays. The NFL is always looking for guys like this. Last week he recovered a fumble. He always seems to get mixed up into something where the ball is coming his way or he makes big hits. And you can see he's a favorite of his teammates.
Dat Win, whose family opened up a restaurant, honest to God, they call it Who Dat. They do.
All right. Dat Win, that's Who Dat.
Who Dat. First down at the 19-yard line.
You got the Cowboys on defense are all confused. I don't know why. I think anybody you throw out there right now for defense can stop the Atlanta offense. That's how bad it's going tonight for them.
Second curious Dallas defensive timeout tonight. Irving, Texas, with 11:14 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Dallas Cowboys on top 17-0. Falcons playing without Chris Chandler, their starting quarterback. Jamal Anderson hurt earlier. Emmitt Smith has scored 2 touchdowns tonight. And turnovers have helped do Atlanta in as they begin this drive from the 19-yard line. And this is Hanspart picking up 5 up to the 24. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Darren Hambrick in on the tackle.
Well, you're at an interesting point in this game. If you're not comfortable calling the plays for Graziani to give him an opportunity to throw the football down the field, sooner or later you're going to have to stop protecting him, or you're going to have to go to your next quarterback, which has some time in the league and has been a starter in this league, in Danny Cannell. You got to give this kid a chance to throw the ball down the field. And here comes the blitz again.
2nd down and 5. Hanspart. Darren Woodson leading the charge. George Teague is there. Will Chris Chandler play next week? Still to be determined. Talked to him before the game. He's moving okay, but you know, with the pulled hamstring, he's got 6 days to rest. They go to St. Louis next Sunday.
And they're a totally different team when he's on the field. He's an extremely effective quarterback. He's smart. The other thing about this offense of the Atlanta Falcons, it's long, it's wordy. You really have to know exactly what you're doing. And Dan Reeves doesn't like those guys to wear the wristbands with all the answers on it. He expects them to know it by memorization.
3rd down and 2. Graziani said he has no problem with that. When we talked to him last night, this pass is caught by Mathis up at the 32-yard line for a 1st down.
A little bit easier on 3rd and 2, but he's getting dropped almost every time he drops back the pass. And everybody in the NFL will tell you, get to that opposing team's quarterback, put him on the ground, and put him down hard. At that time, it was Pepe Zellner. This is a little zone read right here for him. He reads it correctly. He throws it right in the body for Terrence Mathis. A little bit easier to complete those passes when it's short yardage situations.
At the 32, 9:20 to go in the 3rd. Dallas up 17-0. Little toss to Hanspart. They run a reverse. This is Mathis coming back the other way, but running out of room and belted out of bounds just about the line of scrimmage.
Somewhat of a feeble attempt, would you say, by Graziani to make a block there?
Yes, it was.
Should have watched number 7 from Buffalo last night.
Doug Flutie.
Oh boy, what a great block by Doug Flutie. And I mean, it's not fun doing this, but you can see right here at the bottom of your screen. Here comes Tony.
Yep.
Teague does a nice job of fending him off, but we're not really told how to block. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Tony Graziani not quite looking like Rocky Graziano on that play. 2nd down and 10 at the 33-yard line.
He made an attempt. I've seen some quarterbacks just shy away totally.
Whistle before the snap.
It's the down clock, and you can see Graziani saying, I got the play off. That's exactly what he's saying there. I got it off before the clock expired.
Play a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the people inspired to build vehicles for your mind and heart. Nissan Driven. Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official. Great tradition here through the years. 2nd down and long. Graziani throws, and it's incomplete. Mathis was covered by Woodson. Darren Woodson, a key figure in that secondary, especially with the corners getting torched last week, playing better tonight. But Woodson is the main man back there, Pro Bowler.
Poor Darren Woodson. He's back there trying to direct traffic, and in a situation where there's a lot of 2-minute drills kind of stuff going on and balls flying all over the place, unlike tonight, like last week, he's back there trying to get everybody in the situation where they know what they're doing. Not an easy thing to do. We have young guys back there with you.
3rd down, 15, spread, shotgun. Moving up front, and that's with the crowd noise, and that's Bob Whitfield. Uncommon mistake for a guy who's been to the Pro Bowl and was their #1 pick back in '92 out of Stanford.
So I talked
Ball start. Number 70, offense, moving prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Early in the game, I was talking about how Tobeck was using his head to snap the football. Now, all of a sudden, they changed it, and Graziani, actually, we can hear him up here, is calling the signal. So Whitfield is obviously not used to that. And we'll see if they go back to the center head bob for the snap. We'll see right here.
3rd down and 20.
Yep, that's what they're doing.
Tobeck made the line calls.
Step up.
Deep over the middle into traffic, nearly picked off. Intended for Harris. It's George Teague knocking it down. 4th and long. Steve DeBerg, Boomer mentioned before, he was actually in uniform at the age of 44 last year.
And then got creamed by the Jets and decided, you know what?
Enough.
Enough is enough after a while. I saw that game. I was like, oh boy, I can't take this.
Yes. DeBerg serving as both a player and assistant coach last year, doing double duty as Straczynski's punt. Fielded by McGarity, the rookie at the 40, taken down almost immediately at the 42-yard line by Jeff Kelly. 7:56 left in the third in Texas. Cowboys 17, Falcons nothing. High above, literally right above Texas Stadium, the aerial camera provided by Southwest Airlines. Looking down through the hole in the roof.
That's great, isn't it?
Yep.
He doesn't seem too happy, though.
Yeah. His Cowboys.
Troy's jersey and everything.
Yes,
he should be happy.
Yeah, his team leading 17-0.
Got his baby nips right there.
Yep. Taken to the concession stand. There's action up front here. Tom White making the call.
False start. Number 69. Offense. Moving prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
And Fricky, he's seeing some action. Everett McIver has been dinged, and they've got Eric Williams out. So you've got Fricky and you've got Tony Hudson playing side by side at guard and tackle. Smith. When you look at the Falcons, last year Atlanta 14-2, won 2 playoff games, and then as you see Eugene Robinson, he had that, well, what do you call it? He had the contretemps on Super Bowl Eve last year when he got involved with an undercover police officer and was arrested and was able to play in the game the next day, but it was a tremendous distraction to the Falcons. Not that cost them the game against Denver. The Broncos were a better team, but they lose that game and now in danger of going 0-2 to begin this year. 2nd and 16 from the 36 as Aikman goes deep, and that's incomplete. Intended for Ismail.
They're going to call interference on Ray Buchanan. I don't understand this. It looked like he had perfect position. It was just a little hitch and go out where they pumped it to Ismail and then they tried to get him around Buchanan. Buchanan had help over top also by Marty Carter, number 25. But this is a bad call, I believe.
Illegal contact. Number 34, defense. It's 5 yards. Automatic first down.
Al, he ran right into Buchanan, and you could see from up here at least, and we'll take a look right here. Craig Janoff and Kenny Wolf give us these great pictures. Look at this. I don't really know how you could call that illegal contact. I mean, that was incidental contact, and he ran right into him.
One of those calls, in case you're wondering, not reviewable. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. No judgment calls are reviewable. Plays like that. Reeves with a scowl. Dan, last year, when you look at the Falcons, they played in no game that was determined by fewer than 5 points, which is an oddity for any team in the course of a 16-game season. Thank God for Dan, otherwise you would have had quintuple surgery. I mean, to go through the season he did, and of course he became an inspiration to a lot of people around the country.
Well, you know, the thing about it is if you have 20+ in turnover differential, you win your games by that short of a margin. Literally, many of those games go one way or the other. So you wonder how good the Falcons really are. Is 14-2 indicative of the talent on this football team? And right now, with Jamal Anderson and Chris Chandler on the sideline, this is not the same team. It certainly doesn't have the same feel about itself with its 2 stars injured. And there's Chris Chandler right there, and he has a hamstring pull. I didn't even realize that he had hamstrings. But if there was ever a guy who knew about injuries, it's this guy here.
In the league for years, has played with 6 different teams, but has never played a complete season, i.e. made every start. First down at the 47-yard line. 4-yard gain for Emmitt Smith off a Tim Lester block.
And the interesting thing in thinking about the injury factor, you would have thought, and maybe the Falcons thought by getting Danny Cannell, that he was going to be their backup quarterback answer, but certainly that had not been the case coming into tonight's game, because Danny went down to the third quarterback and Graziani was the second quarterback. He's warming up, because I'm sure we'll start to see him now, and maybe he can get some of his confidence back and move the team a little bit tonight.
2nd down and 6, looking for any spark. Dallas ahead 17-0. Troy for 6. No. Good coverage on the play, going deep, intended for Ismail, and the Rocket covered by Ray Buchanan.
Terrific coverage by Buchanan that time.
Let's go to Leslie.
Al, on the mystery of the fair catch, according to one player, the Cowboys did not know the rule, and ironically it would not have been Richie Cunningham, whose longest field goal is 54 yards. It would have been Tony Goen who would have attempted it. He once attempted a 63-yarder, but in the end the Cowboys thought the time had run out. Alan Boomer.
So they didn't know the final interpretation of the rule, that they could extend the period.
They didn't know it, and Goen is their kickoff guy. He's their punter and kickoff guy. Cunningham does the place kicking, and he would have had a free shot at a 57-yarder.
Now, you know, he kicks off with a tee, and he kicks it from the 30 to the goal line. That's 70 yards. He probably could have had a shot at it.
Yep.
And why not take a shot at it, right?
Probably academic right now, but who knows? 17-0. This Saturday right here on ABC. Once that's done, Aikman throws on 1st down, and third down rather, on 3rd and 6, and it's caught by Michael Irvin, but short of the 1st down.
I think they'll probably go for it. But, you know, talking of college football for a moment, Al.
Yes, sir.
The Beast of the East, Maryland, is back. 3-0, baby.
Maryland plays football?
Yes, they do. They're back.
I thought that was a basketball. I thought you guys were a lacrosse school.
Well, get out. Basketball and lacrosse. Come on, we got one of the best basketball coaches in Gary Williams. Got a great women's lacrosse pro. It's great. Great place. And we're 3-0 in football. All right.
You guys played Division 1A opposition?
Yeah, we beat West Virginia this week.
All right. That's pretty good.
Ohio State played Ohio U. Who are you talking about?
Keep an eye on those Terps. 4th down and 1 for the Cowboys. Tom White wants the play clock to be restarted. Reeves saying, what in the world was that all about?
Why would you do that?
It's a good question.
And he has a right to argue, because why would you do that? I guess they figured that they were measuring, so they wanted to make sure that they gave Dallas an opportunity to call a play.
4th down 1 from the 38-yard line, and this is Emmitt Smith picking up the 1st down of the 36. Emmitt tonight now 20 carries for 87 yards.
It's got to be really tough if you're a defensive player for the Atlanta Falcons right now. There seems to be no life in your offense whatsoever, and you're going up against an offensive line that is enormous, to say the least, and you're looking at 326, 335, 330, 311 across the board, and they can lean on you, they can push you, they can shove you, and it's a long night for those defensive linemen of the Falcons.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Emmitt Smith playing in his 20th Monday night game, and boy, he loves the spotlight, as Dan Reeves is still barking. Emmitt Smith, in 20 Monday night appearances, has now gone over 2,000 yards on Monday night. So he is a nocturnal star, as well as a star in the sunshine and in any weather. A look at some of Emmitt's moves tonight, and if you think about it, 2,000 yards, 2 touchdowns tonight, and that means he averages on Monday Night Football about 100 yards per outing.
Where the feet and the legs are moving and picking him up, and he looks good. He's got a lot of spring in his step.
Getting a career second to win. 2nd down and 7 from the 33. Smith again rolled down at the 30-yard line. He's tackled there by Keith Brookings. Right up to the moment in the history of this series, we saw Tony Dorsett here. Thurman Thomas has had some fabulous games on Monday night. So did Marcus Allen and Franco Harris, and it would figure the stars come out at night, and there they are, the top 5.
And I'm sure Emmitt Smith, as all those running backs right there, will tell you that you need the help of an offensive line. And when Larry Allen is pulling in front of you, that is one big blocker. And I'd hate to have to take him on, and that's what Henry Crockett has had to do all night long.
3rd and 4. Smith again. Nothing happening. Packs in the black shirts, knocking him down just about at the line of scrimmage.
I probably would have thrown right there to make the first down, but I'm up here. I'm not on the sideline, but it seemed to me like they gave up there a little bit.
So Cunningham will settle for a field goal attempt. You know, lost in all of what happened last week in that miraculous 21-point comeback. When the score was 35-34, Cunningham's extra point bounced off the upright. I mean, can you imagine erasing a 21-point deficit and then seeing it go doink? It went doink, but it went through the uprights.
Nobody really made a big deal about that.
No, this is a 47-yarder, and he misses it. So they come up empty to the Cowboys, but with 1:05 left in the third, it's still 17-0 Big D.
If you've never seen it, you need to tune into that, baby. That's a great show.
Outstanding show on Sunday night. Next Monday, we'll be in Tempe. Tonight, Atlanta, 9 possessions, 6 punts, 2 turnovers, and a missed field goal.
And now this is Danny Cannell's chance for redemption. Kind of a cast-off from the New York Giants. Dan Reeves knows him very well and figures, you know, this is my guy.
38-yard line as Cannell throws, and that one is a little high, intended for Chris Callaway, a guy he knows very well from his days 3 years with the Giants.
So here you can see there's Danny Cannell, but you just saw a shot of Tony Graziani on the sideline.
He from Salam hurt.
Graziani stewing inside. I know he's angry that he's not getting a chance to finish this game, and he's wondering why he didn't get a chance to drop back on first down and throw the football. And you know, all in all, after his first pass, I mean, if that is caught, the game is different for him.
The game is different. If his first pass is caught, Atlanta leads 7-0. Also, I mean, a few minutes into the game, he loses Jamal Anderson.
So things don't go well for him. He practices all week. He came in. We saw him. What a great kid. He was. He was confident. He knew what he was doing. He felt like he really was going to have a good showing tonight, and things just didn't go well for the Falcons as soon as the game started. As soon as Callaway dropped the football, forget it.
Greg Bishop will come in to replace Ephraim Salam.
But then you talk about Danny Cannell, and you wonder, like, what's the deal here? Your first play in the game, you have an opportunity to make a big play. You have a guy open. You have to make those plays when they present themselves to you.
If he made them in the past, he'd still be wearing giant blue.
Exactly right. Sometimes a change of venue, a change of scenery, getting out of under the big scope and the big picture can get a guy like Danny Cannell an opportunity to put his career back on track.
2nd down and 10. Cannell played his college football at Florida State. Pressure on. They blitzed from the outside, and it's dropped by Terrence Mathis. Had it, didn't have possession with both feet down, and it's incomplete. Covered by Kevin Mathis.
What a great play by Kevin Mathis. What a good throw by Danny Cannell. These are plays that Terrence Mathis usually makes, but this time the defensive back, Kevin Mathis, comes up with the big play. Right here you can see Terrence has it in his hands, and a strip by Terrence, Kevin, Terrence, I'm all over the place.
Well, Johnny just called and said chances are, oh, never mind.
Well, the Cowboy stripped the ball out of the Falcons' hands. How's that?
3rd down and 10 from the 37-yard line.
Get rid of it.
Cannell under pressure. Down he goes at the 28-yard line. Darren Woodson on a safety blitz.
You have to see the blitzes. You have to know where to go with the football when the blitzes are coming at you. You don't have much of a chance to sit in there and make decisions. He comes from the right side of your screen, number 28. Watch, here he comes, unblocked. Danny Cannell should see him or feel him and get rid of the football. Quarterback's job and responsibility is to see that and react and either get rid of it and not take the sack or complete a pass and hopefully the receiver make a play.
Woodson's perfected it. That's the 10th sack of that safety's career. Straczynski's kick is fielded at the 26-yard line by Wayne McGarity. There's a flag down as the rookie from Texas brings it out to midfield.
There's the push in the back.
A little push in the back. Guaranteed. It's almost like a recording. "17 ticks left in the third quarter." Tom White. Illegal contact. Block in the back.
Oh, man.
Illegal block in the back, number 43. During the return, that's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Izell Reese, Joe Avisano is there. We go to Leslie.
Al, it is the home opener against his former team. No one would rather be on the field than Deion Sanders. But, Deion, how close are you to getting back?
I'm getting pretty close. I've been working very hard in practice, just trying to get back in all phases of my game, but it's coming close.
How much do people need a left toe?
Excuse me?
How much do people need a left toe?
More than you would ever imagine.
What can you do and what can't you do right now?
I could do quite a bit, but I'm not as cutting up to my capability right now. I'm not my old self at this time. Watch out. There you go.
Well, we'll look for you soon. Back to you guys.
It's over.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leslie. We're sure to see Deion the next time we see the Cowboys, which will be on Monday, October 18th, a night game at New York, and that's where he had that Hall of Fame night last season. That's the end of the third quarter. The Cowboys lead 17-0. And Monday Night Football from Texas Stadium returns after this from our ABC station. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Al Michaels, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser. You can join us now for ABC's Enhanced TV at ESPN.com or NFL.com. Dallas Cowboys are pretty calm so far, leading 17-0. Second down and 7 as we start the final quarter. And the pass is dropped the far sideline as Wayne McGarity tried to haul it in and couldn't.
Well, Wayne can return punts, but he's got to hold on to balls like that. The ball was perfectly thrown and give him a chance to catch the ball and not take such a vicious hit. It was thrown low, and make those plays.
Numbers through the first 45 minutes of competition looked like this.
That's balance in rushing and passing as far as the Falcons are concerned, but
it is.
Just haven't moved the ball at all.
It's been a game dominated by Dallas, and yet the yardage is fairly even. I mean, Atlanta just can't get anything going offensively. It's third down and 7, and that is incomplete. McGarity couldn't handle that one either, covered by Bradford. If you're a Falcon fan, all right, the one thing, if the team is 0-2, you're a little dispirited right now. However, Chandler might be back next week. Jamal Anderson, we don't know, but at least it wasn't a serious injury. And the one good thing for the Falcons is their next 6 games are against teams that were under 500 last season.
One thing we know now is that don't take last season into account for anything.
Yes, you're right.
And these guys are the hunted now. Teams want the piece of this team.
Toby Goins' kick. Dwight calls for the fair catch. Makes it at the 32-yard line of Atlanta. We're 18 ticks into the fourth quarter. The lights of Big D. And the Cowboys are up by 17. A reminder, after the game, tune into ESPN Sports Center Monday night for post-game show, live reports, and analysis. I love the way they light the buildings in Dallas at night. I mean, that is just what a spectacular sight that is. Gorgeous skyline as Danny Cannell on first down throws, and that's caught by Brian Kozlowski out of the University of Connecticut, the NCAA basketball championship school.
Nice throw by Danny that time, right in the face of pressure, knowing that he has to deliver the ball quickly. He has to put some steam on it, and maybe this will give him a little jump start. See right here, he puts the steam on it as he's getting hit by Kavika Pittman. Kozlowski goes up across the middle. Courage and a little stupidity, maybe, to go across the middle and catch the ball like that.
Whatever combination.
Whatever it is.
Cannell throws. That's caught by Mathis at the 50-yard line. Pickup of about 7, tackled by George Teague. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform, be different. Budweiser, made with the freshest all-natural ingredients for brewery fresh taste. Monster.com. There's a better job out there.
No, there's not.
No, there's not. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. Hansbard to the 46-yard line. It'll be third down and 2. Charlie Williams with the hit.
I've always felt when we were in a game and things weren't going well and you were down and you were kind of like frustrated and you're flustered, and, you know, you need a play. And I always try to pick the tempo up. I tried to force the other players in the huddle to come on, let's go, let's keep moving. Let's not just settle down here and take what's happening tonight. Let's make something happen.
If nothing else, just give you a little running start to next week. 3rd down and 3 from the 47-yard line.
Up-tempo.
Cannell throws underneath to Christian. He picks up a 1st down, bomb to the 40-yard line.
His defense and make something happen quickly. Force Dallas to show their hands as well a little bit. They don't seem to me like urgent enough.
Well, what mitigates against it, of course, is the number 3 quarterback who hasn't taken that many snaps, and the number 2 running back. With Chandler out, Graziani out, who took most of the snaps last week, and Anderson out.
And here he is audible now. He's reading the defense. A good job by Danny Cannell. This is a chance for a big play.
From the 39. Pressure. And instead it's a big play for Dallas. Another one. Chad Hennings.
He read the defense perfectly. He had Callaway running down the middle of the field. He knew where he wanted to go with the football, but you need to have time. You're right, he reads the blitz. You can see the outside guys coming, and here comes the pressure, and Hennings gets free up the middle. Oof, you got to be stout in the middle like that.
And timeout is now called by the Atlanta Falcons with 11:53 left in the 4th, and the Dallas Cowboys trying to go 2-0, leading 17-zip.
There's Troy Aikman standing on the sideline wondering if his defense is going to hold up, and if any indications from earlier in tonight, I'm sure they will.
2nd down and 19 for the Atlanta Falcons at the 48-yard line. After the Atlanta timeout, Danny Cannell throwing it out to Santiago, and the tight end is tackled at the 40-yard line. Well, this upside down beginning to the NFL season can be illustrated in a number of ways, but perhaps none better than there. Denver and the Jets, the AFC Championship game participants last year, each 0-2. Atlanta 0-1, going to 0-2 shortly, and Minnesota with the only victory in the 7 games played thus far.
Minnesota will be fine. Those other 3 teams are missing quarterbacks and running backs.
3rd down and 10. And Cannell throws. And it is Santiago. It is an incomplete pass. Hit the ground. Boomer, you could be looking. You can't be looking at any worse than 1-7 because 2 of the teams played each other, Minnesota and Atlanta. So somebody had to win the game, and that's Minnesota's win.
Well, you know, when you think about what's happening in the league right now, everybody talks about how it changes week to week, but really, in reality, it changes minute by minute. Injuries happen. Catastrophic injuries when you think about what happened to the New York Jets with Wayne Corbett, Leon Johnson. And you can see right here that the Falcons again are having trouble getting players in, personnel in, making calls.
4th and 19, and they burn another timeout.
Indicative of using a 3rd string quarterback.
Boomer.
No.
That's a Van Gogh if I've ever seen one.
Last week we had my clone.
Yep.
This week, that's a picture of your buddy Alex Wallow if I've ever seen one. That is not me. And that might even be a drawing by Alex Wallow. How do I know that it's not?
No, that's a Harvey Van Gogh.
At least I have better teeth this week than I did last week.
Yes. After the Atlanta timeout, it is 4th down and 19 from the 39-yard line.
A lot of point and shifting and stuff going on out there. A lot of guys are confused.
Cannell picked off at the 15-yard line. Izell Reese. And he runs it back out to the 38, which is just about the original line of scrimmage.
I sense that Danny Cannell felt like it was 4th down, and he had to throw it. And he threw it past the sticks. And usually what happens? Interceptions. So you have to wonder what Danny Cannell was thinking about right here. He knows it's 4th and 10. He's got to get rid of it. He feels the pressure. He's throwing the ball across the middle, thinking that Terrence Mathis is going to break across the middle. Looking at that and looking at that situation right there with Dan Reeves. Danny Cannell made the wrong assumption. Terrence Mathis was going straight up the field. But it's 4th and 10, and you got to get rid of the ball, especially in the heat of traffic like that.
First down from the 39. Dan Reeves, ever the teacher. And as Emmitt Smith picks up a yard or two. Dan, of course, learned under Tom Landry. And when you go back to Dan's roots here in Dallas after growing up in Georgia, going to school at South Carolina, he loves, as do all of Tom's old players, Tom Landry, who is still battling leukemia, but happy to report Tom showing up the other night for his 75th birthday. Tom
great.
Landry. There he is, remembered, of course, the Ring of Honor here, the fabled hat. Their only coach for 29 seasons, their first 29. Emmitt Smith tonight nearing 100 yards, 25 carries for 98, second down and 8. Emmitt trying to go into triple figures. Nope, not here. Lost to 1. In the meantime, one of the reasons Emmitt's having such a big night, the guys up front, Boomer.
Yeah, take a look at Larry Allen right here. We've seen this play over and over again tonight. It's a little trap play where Larry Allen pulls, and you can see right there Henri Crockett has had to run into that truck all night long, and Emmitt Smith just gets right on his hip and follows him right into the hole right there. And when you talk about one of the best offensive linemen in football, it's because you have a man of that size who's about 335 pounds with the athletic ability to be able to pull out and run and let your little running back get in behind him.
Play guard, play tackle, go to the Pro Bowl as either. Third down and 9, and that pass is incomplete. Flag down. Ernie Mills was the intended receiver.
If you're going to have interference here.
Against the Falcons.
Now it steamrolls you. It just doesn't stop, especially when you're missing your best players.
Pass interference. Number 21, defense. That's a first down.
Elijah Williams. Week 3 coming up in the NFL next week, Sunday night on ESPN. The matchup is from Foxborough. The New York Giants going in to face the 2-0 Patriots, coming off that thrilling win yesterday against Indianapolis, down by 21 at one point. And we go to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Steve Young and the 49ers against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football. And Emmitt Smith takes the ball to the 49-yard line, and that'll put Emmitt into triple figures.
You talk about the 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. That ball is going to be flying all over Sun Devil Stadium next week with Steve Young and Jake Plummer. And then how do you figure the Giants? I mean, they go down and they play Tampa. They play them tight. They look good. And then the Redskins, who have a former Vikings quarterback, now look like they have the Viking offense of last year. Brad Johnson is playing great and looking good, and the Redskins could be back on top in this NFC East.
Well, it could very well be 2-0, blowing that 21-point lead to Dallas, second down and 4. Smith now with 103 yards, trying to add a few more. Stop for no gain by Keith Brooking. Emmitt Smith, during his illustrious career, which will Sunday be recognized officially as a Hall of Fame enshrinee, with tonight his 57th 100-yard game. So Peyton, as you can see, atop that list. Sanders, temporarily retired, is next. Dickerson, Brown, and Emmitt Smith.
You know, the interesting thing about Barry Sanders as he sits out, we hear from his agent, we've heard from his father. Just once I want to hear from Barry Sanders and hear what he has to say.
Well, that's what Chuck Schmidt, the general manager, has basically said. Third down and 4. And this is Emmitt Smith taking it to the 44. The Detroit Lions are one of the great stories in the league. And in fact, we wanted to talk to Bobby Ross tonight about the Lions at halftime. And Bobby, knowing that the thrust of it would have to be about Barry Sanders, is trying to keep his team focused, and declined to want to do the interview, knowing where it would have to go.
Right.
And it's a very interesting situation, obviously, because nobody's heard from Sanders. You're hearing a lot from David Ware, his agent. You're hearing from other people surrounding him as Emmitt Smith goes off getting dinged here. And nobody seems to know any answers right now. And all kinds of rumors are floating around as Warren is down. There is no fumble. He takes it to the 31-yard line. It'll be a first down, and the play is dead.
Yeah, it's a real shame. If Barry Sanders doesn't want to play for the Detroit Lions, I want to hear Barry Sanders say that.
Well, this is what everybody's waiting to hear right now.
I've had problems myself with teams, and I have been out there and I've said, hey, this is what the deal is. Now, this last play was close to being a fumble, but one of the reasons that it would probably not be ruled a fumble is because the official had already pointed him down. This looks like it should be a fumble. Yes, it is a fumble.
It is, right.
But from our vantage point, the official came in and was pointing him down.
Thus, it is not reviewable. Aikman. That's thrown out of bounds. And it'll be 2nd down 10. But the Lions, notwithstanding, and I have to think, Boomer, in a certain regard, and you tell me about this, I have to think some of the Lions are almost fueled by the chance to say, hey, wait a second. You know, everybody thinks we're the dregs of the league. We don't have Sanders. It's a mess when training camp starts. You got this whole circus going on around that team, and you're 2-0.
Hey, you knew Charlie Batcher's going to be better. The biggest jump that any player makes is from his first to second year. Charlie looked poised as a rookie last year. He's poised to become one of the better quarterbacks in this league. Hey, when you lose your best player, you find out how good you are and how motivated you can be. And I played for Bobby Ross, Al, and he is a terrific coach. And I just can't understand the fact that Barry Sanders would not talk to him.
Tuesday.
What do you think I retired?
That's right.
I don't have to worry about defenses anymore. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
The VCR library?
Absolutely. Come on, this is great. That's why I told you I'm not going to call monster.com.
That's right. 3rd down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Aikman. Pump fake going deep, and then what an interception made by Buchanan. He's going to run it out of the end zone.
He figures he has to do it to score.
Yep. And so Buchanan, who could have downed it in the end zone and had it taken out to the 20, runs it back out to the 24, where he's cut down by Chris Warren.
Well, there's a player that's not quitting at all, and you can see what a great play he makes on a poor throw by Troy Aikman. Troy needed to throw that ball inside.
Atlanta ball, 5:29 left.
You can see now why this is an interception. Jason Tucker, number 87, has Ray Buchanan beat. All Troy Aikman has to do is throw the ball inside. Uncharacteristic error by Troy Aikman, who is one of the more accurate passers in NFL history. It's a bad throw by Troy, a terrific play by Ray Buchanan, and a player who's showing the rest of his teammates that he's not giving up and that he still wants to win this football game. It's a great play by Ray Buchanan, but a poor throw by Troy Aikman.
Ray Buchanan, one-time Colt, at the school at Louisville, now in his 7th season in the league. Danny Cannell on the center at the 25-yard line. Flags down, action up front, pass is incomplete.
And that will be offsides on the defense as Bob Whitfield, number 70, stays down on the ground.
And there is the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, watching his team.
There he is, right there in the middle.
Yep, in the lead. Jerry is the cover boy. Some folks make the cover of Esquire, GQ. Jerry makes the cover of Forbes.
Number 99. Defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Bob Whitfield is the Cowboy, or the Falcon, who is shaken up and needing the attention. But Jerry, in that issue of Forbes, they do the rankings of all of the franchises in the league, and of course subject to different sorts of bookkeeping rules and all of the rest of it. But for the record, in that issue, the Cowboys are valued at $663 million. They'd be the most valuable franchise in the league, according to Forbes.
He's the new breed of owner. He's a part of that. Has spent a lot of money to get this franchise where it is and to win Super Bowls.
And you have Washington valued as the 2nd franchise. Of course, Dan Snyder buying that team, including the stadium. The Buccaneers are 3rd, but you look at the rankings, the least valuable franchise in the league, according to the chart, the Detroit Lions.
They have all that money tied up in cars.
Well, the value is now up after the last 2 weeks. Well, that has to do with their current stadium deal.
Right, exactly. And Jerry Jones is one of the new owners in this league that have, I guess you could call him a little bit of a maverick. To say the least, right?
Well, he's had a lot of very good ideas. There's no question about that.
But remember one thing, that the Dallas Cowboys are the Dallas Cowboys because there are the Cincinnati Bengals, there are the Cleveland Browns, there are the Pittsburgh Steelers. You wouldn't want to see the Dallas Cowboys continuing to play the Washington Redskins every week, would you? Something to ponder there for a second, Alice.
Ponder we will. 1st and 5 from the 30, and that's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Byron Hanspard.
Take a look at Atlanta tonight. They have 11 possessions, 7 punts, 3 turnovers, a missed field goal. And the deepest they've gotten into Dallas territory, the 32-yard line.
A partridge in a pear tree. Only time the Falcons shut out in the 90s, 6-0 in Chicago 6 seasons ago. Meanwhile, Dallas has pitched 4 shutouts in the 90s, 2 of them on Monday Night Football.
And this defense has just been absolutely, I guess, insulted to the max this whole week after their showing last week in Washington. And tonight they catch a break. No Jamal Anderson, no Chris Chandler, and they do what they're supposed to do: shut out the other team, play aggressive. And they got after young Tony Graziani early in the game, and now they just have to sit back and look for balls and try to make pickoffs.
1st and 10 at the 37.
Here they come again.
Cannell dumping it at the feet of the intended receiver. Well, they're doing it without Chandler and Anderson. On the other side, we've talked about Dion and Leon Lett. And the Leon Lett story, I'm sure you've read about it, most of you, the fact that he again is suspended, 3rd time in his career. He's a great player, but he's had a major drug problem, and he violates the league substance abuse policy, and he's gone for half the season. Paul Tagliabue sits him down for 8 games.
It's an amazing story. In 95 it was 4 games. In 96 the final 3 games. 97 the first 13 games. That was his year suspension. And now in 99 the first 8 games.
2nd and 10. Play clock running out. People moving up and down. Almost looks like a preseason sort of situation right there.
Get back to Leon Lett for a second. The actual suspension this time.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. The quarterback is pulling out without the ball. 2nd down.
Could have been a much more severe penalty. This time it was left up to the commissioner to decide exactly how many games Leon would have been suspended. In my view, I think that the commissioner was unbelievably compassionate. There are a lot of people in this country that feel like Leon Lett is getting too many breaks. And Commissioner Tagliabue took a lot of mitigating circumstances into account. It took a long time for him to make a decision.
That's an incomplete pass, arm moving forward.
And really, when I look at it, I say, you know what? There must be other circumstances associated with this that I'm not aware of to allow the commissioner to make a decision that was a compassionate one.
Well, you're right about one thing as we look at Cannell's arm moving forward again. I mean, there's the real world and then there's the fantasy world, and the world of sports is a bit of the fantasy world. Because clearly, if you're in a number of other professions in this country and you do what Leon Lett has done, you're gone. Goodbye, you're fired.
Right?
3rd and 15.
Remember, too, that the NFL considers itself having the toughest drug policy in professional sports.
This is caught at midfield, Ronnie Harris, and he takes it into Dallas territory.
Nice throw by Danny Cannell, running against the grain and throwing it back across the middle. One of those plays that Dan Reeves likes to kind of manipulate the field space and use his quarterback's arm strength to be able to make plays down the field.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
See right here, running to the right and throwing back against the grain. Normally quarterbacks are not going to do that, but that's a designed play in the Dan Reeves offense. And here comes the blitz again.
Cannell goes down again. Cannell slow and rising. Darren Woodson on the safety blitz.
Get back to that Leon Lett situation for a second. The league does have a tough anti-drug policy. It also has a drug education policy that every player gets put before him before every season. Every player knows when the initial drug test is. Leon Lett is in stage 3 of his drug rehab. He gets tested randomly 10 times a month. This is a league that cares, and it's a league that's trying to rid itself of this particular problem. But it's in all facets of society, like you said, Al.
2nd down and 10. Again, Cannell is on his back, and it's
nice
caught.
play.
It is caught by Tim Dwight and he scores as Atlanta finally gets on the board. Darren Woodson with the coverage got spun around, and Dwight is able to haul it in and take it into the end zone.
What a terrific play by Danny Cannell. You see George Teague right there, number 31. He was blitzing out of the secondary, and as Danny Cannell was getting ready to release the ball, hit him. And for Danny to stand in there and throw the ball accurately, he allows Super Dave right here to go up and make a play for him. And what a nice throw by Danny Cannell in the face of pressure. Right here, watch George Teague, number 31, come flying in there. Quarterbacks know that they're going to get hit. They have to be able to deliver the ball like that.
And it's Dwayne Hawthorne on the other end. Dwayne Hawthorne, the defensive back, not Woodson, who got spun and beaten on the play. And it's Anderson for the point after with 4 minutes left in the fourth. So all of a sudden, it's a 10-point game with 4 minutes to play.
Well, you never know, Al. And right here again, you can see Danny Cannell knowing, just moving a little bit to his left. Let your athletes go make plays. If Callaway makes a play, the first play of the game, similar to this, and there's Dwayne Hawthorne, you know, he knows that he should have made the play on that football.
There's Jamal Anderson, ready for the plane ride home.
Well, it'll be good news for the Falcons if this kid is not injured, and they can get him back in a couple weeks, maybe even next week if it's not that severe, and knowing that they can get Chandler and he back into the lineup. But Danny Cannell certainly trying to light a fire under his teammates right now. Oh, and here comes the old onside kick right now. Everybody just kind of lines up and runs 100 miles an hour at each other, hoping that the ball is not handled cleanly by the receiving team, the Cowboys.
Anderson's a pretty happy guy right now. Morton holds the NFL record for most consecutive games scoring, and he was able to extend that mark to 240 just there. With
there they come right there, baby. Watch these guys. 100 miles an hour at 7 guys waiting for him.
The Wild Bunch.
There it is, up in the air.
By Hopper, all kinds of action. And it is Dexter Coakley who comes up with it. So he has an interception. And a nice play here to keep possession for the Dallas Cowboys.
Usually you don't see the plays come off that cleanly for the kicking team. And that time, Morton Anderson made the perfect kick. He got the ball to go high in the air. They kick it down into the ground, and here they come, the posse.
And here is,
and they're coming to get the football. And look, you could see this. It's just one collision after the next. And how, well, it looks like Coakley takes it out of number 51's hands.
Jeff Kelly.
What a play by Dexter Coakley.
Almost a jump ball, and the 5'10 Coakley comes down with it. Now on first down, it is Chris Warren. Flag comes in at the end.
Chris Warren on the carry. 5 down with 1.
Tom White.
You're going to have holding on the offensive line.
Holding, number 76, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The hold on Flozell Adams. Meanwhile, Chan Gailey has watched Emmitt Smith go back to the locker room with a sprained left ankle.
Oh, man.
And we'll try to get an update on that. And Chris Warren is in the backfield. First down to 20 from the 43-yard line. Warren again. Coming over after several great seasons at Seattle for a gain of 5. Let's go back and look at that onside kick attempt again.
Look at this. You know they're coming after you. Oh, my goodness. Ouch. Well, you know, when the coach used to call the hands team, I'd walk to the other side of the field and say, see you, coach, I'm not on that, baby. And that's the reason why. There are about 5 of those guys in the front that are told, you just hit anything in a different color jersey. Then the guys following them are trying to clean up the trash and try to find the ball any way they can.
It's a lot of fun, especially on artificial turf.
Oh, boy.
Second down and 16 at the 47-yard line. Warren, when he left Seattle, the leading ball carrier in Seahawks history, to the 48-yard line, 3rd and long.
Falcons are going to call timeout here.
And it will be their last one. Now remember, because of Cannell coming in and not being on the same page. The Falcons are now out of timeouts. Leslie, what you got?
Al, you were talking before about how Dan Reeves is from Georgia. Well, the small town of Americus, Georgia, 130 miles south of Atlanta, has produced 2 NFL head coaches, Dan Reeves and Changeli, and both played for the legendary high school coach Jimmy Hightower. Jimmy said that Dan was the most competitive player he ever had. He also coached Dan to the state basketball title. As for Chan, also wore number 10, Jimmy said Chan was an excellent option quarterback and a student of the game. Jimmy, who's here tonight, is spending equal time on both sidelines. Boomer and Al, he said the thing that honors him most is that both men still call him coach.
You know, Al, I was telling you earlier, my high school coach left an everlasting mark in my life, Sal Champy from East Islip, and you know, high school coaches have that power, and I've seen a lot of high school coaches in my time really give all they can of their own lives to make young men better.
Well, and especially Hightower has really molded 2 not only great coaches, but real gentlemen. Jason Tucker, who stopped at the 45. In fact, I mean, there are so many angles to that.
Leslie Visser won an award last week. She won the Pioneer Award, and she was inducted into the Boston Sports Hall of Fame.
That's great.
So congratulations, Leslie.
Way to go, Les.
She didn't tell anybody. I had to go undercover, super secret.
Oh, you did?
Super secret undercover to find that out.
So why did I have that note under my door this morning?
Well, she didn't
got
give
you guys a ticket.
It was raining. It was the day of the hurricane, I believe.
It was. It was. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Leslie.
It's 4th down. Tom White with the play clock having expired. And Emmett Smith apparently none the worse for wear.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Delay a game here, which hardly matters. They're going to punt from midfield.
Well, you know, this game is far from over, Al. Anything can happen here, and you see one great play made by Tim White, you might see another one. You never know.
That's exactly what the Falcons would need at this point in the game.
You never know.
A little more than 2 minutes to play. Toby going to kick it. Falcons try to block it, of course, as they send 9.
What a horrendous hit that is.
Short one, and it takes an Atlanta bounce and is down to the 33. So that's where the Falcons will have it. We've reached the 2-minute warning, which comes officially with 1:57 to play at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Falcons 17-7. When you think about Dan Reeves and the Dallas Cowboys and now the coach at Atlanta, the first time Atlanta faced Dallas was 1966. It was the year the Atlanta Falcons were born, and Dan Reeves with Don Meredith at quarterback.
I can't sing like he can.
Oh, and Dan Reeves taking the pass, going in for a touchdown. Reeves had 4 touchdowns that day, 2 rushing, 2 receiving.
Here's Dandy Don. There you go.
Still holds a mark, or shares the mark that exists to this day. Dan with 6 catches, 2 touchdown receptions, 2 on the ground. Dallas beat Atlanta 37-7. Talking about Reeves and Gailey, they grew up not necessarily together because Dan is 8 years older than Gailey, but when Dan was in high school and legendary in his hometown of Americus, about 15 years old, and Chan would have been 7. Chan was playing in a youth baseball league, and Dan was helping to coach that team, and he remembers the first time he ever saw Chan Gailey.
Freckle face. Yep. Opie Taylor looking like first guy that always showed up too, right?
Glove over his shoulder. This is hand sparred on a draw to the 40. The Falcons do not have a timeout.
Now the Cowboys have to be careful here. This is usually a situation where you see defenses in prevent situations, and usually the center of the field is open.
2nd and 3.
And you don't want the defense just to sit back and not get onto the quarterback. Here's one of those plays where he'll throw back against the grain, probably.
Right off the street into coverage.
Oh, He's got it.
Somehow it is taken by Mathis, double team, and it's one of these fluky, crazy situations where all of a sudden you've got a 1st and goal.
You have to be careful on defense not to get lackadaisical, not to become complacent. Danny Kanell is going to try to stop the clock, but look at this throw. He just throws it up, and the defenders are right there to make the play, and they don't make it.
Well, 1:10 remaining. Now Kanell starts to walk off, but remember, you've got no timeouts.
And you're going to have defense offsides right now as well.
That's the call against Dallas. Here's the ball was signaled ready for play, and the Cowboys were not lined up.
And this is a situation where not much time is going to be lost off the clock. I'm figuring that they'll throw into the end zone each and every time they're down here, so at least they'll get a field goal. But look at this right here. Teague and Hawthorne are right there. Hawthorne's got to make the play on that. But this is the way momentum switches in a game like this, and what a terrific job of concentration by Terrence Mathis. Goes right through both of their hands. Terrence makes sure that he's inbounds first.
1st and goal at the 4.
And it almost looks like the Dallas is a little bit confused all of a sudden.
This would be the flukiest, most unbelievable comeback win I could imagine. Rolling out is Kanell, throwing, and it's incomplete. Intended for Callaway with Kevin Mathis covering on the play. It's the kind of game where, I mean, Atlanta needs flukes to win.
Well, we also talked earlier that their defense had to keep them in, give them a chance, keep the game relatively close. Now 17-0 into the 4th quarter is not that way, but so a little rollout, get away, and try to throw into the back of the end zone, give Callaway a chance to make a play. But good coverage.
2nd down goal. Trips right. Kanell goes that way. That's tipped, and that's incomplete.
Well, he fired that ball. I don't think Terrence Mathis had a chance to catch that. It's like a Nolan Ryan fastball coming at you.
3rd down and goal.
3rd down and goal.
Little touch, please. Just take it easy. Throw it to my... Watch how he whistles this football. He puts everything into it. He actually has Terrence open. Just throw it down by his body, and you got a touchdown. But again, it's a 3rd-string quarterback. He's not comfortable in the pocket right now. And he's going to throw the ball hard and high like that to avoid the interceptions if, in fact, his own receiver cannot make the play.
Brandon Noble tipped it. 3rd down and goal. Hands started motion. Taken out of the air by Greg Ellis.
Look at him motor. Oh,
Greg
my goodness.
Ellis, the defensive end.
Oxygen, please.
Touchdown, Dallas.
Woo, boy.
What a bizarre ending.
Al, you want to know why that play happened? It happened because the Dallas defense didn't rest. It came after Danny Kanell, and it forced him into a bad play. Oh, my goodness. Take a look at the defense. Here they come. That's Woodson in your face, and there's Ellis. Really, I guess the new leader on this defensive line, if you think about it. He had 2 huge plays last week against the Redskins, and look at the speed of this guy. Oh my goodness. 6'6", 290 pounds. He had a sack for a fumble recovery last week in the red zone against the Redskins, and makes a play like this. Welcome to the Dallas Cowboys, Greg Ellis. There's your new defensive line leader.
87-yard return for a touchdown. And so after a few hearts have been stopped here in Dallas, watching a sure victory, all of a sudden get into a very perilous pose. Greg Ellis ends it.
Well, you're in the pre-vet defense. You throw the ball up. Your players don't make a play on it. And all of a sudden, your defense decides, you know what, we can't just sit back here. We can't let them operate without putting pressure on them. And when the blitz came, the interception happened. Give a lot of credit to Dave Campo for calling the blitz down there in the red zone.
There is the Cowboy defensive coordinator.
You think everything's going your way and everything's fine. You got it all wrapped up, and all of a sudden, bang, it happens.
Could you imagine?
Sure.
Hand for the point after.
And the way this season's going?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But that would have been the all-time improbable comeback.
Who knows?
But the Falcons hung in.
Go figure. Wow.
And so the Falcons will fly back to Atlanta, go to St. Louis next week, having lost as many games already in 1999 as they did in all of 1998 when they finished with a mark of 14 wins and 2 defeats. And the Cowboys will get off to a 2-0 start on top in the NFC East and get ready for a bye week. And then a visit from the Arizona Cardinals a week from Sunday.
And the bye week probably couldn't come at a better time right now with Emmitt Smith a little bit banged up and Deion Sanders an extra week. Ooh, boy.
The Atlanta Falcons, they just they don't like Mondays very much, as you can see. Not only will they have lost 9 consecutive games since 1981, but most of them have been blowouts. Go back to 1984. Remember that one real well. It's the 49er lost 41-3. Losses to the Cowboys and the Steelers in 92 and 93. 49er rout in 96. Well, and tonight.
The only thing I can tell you is that 0-2 is not the end of the world. And if you can get your players back, Jamal Anderson and Chris Chandler, you still got a shot. You got a long way to go.
That kickoff was from deep in Cowboy territory because of a penalty for excessive celebration. The Cowboys can begin their official celebration in 41 seconds.
I'll tell you what I would do in this situation, Al, as an Atlanta Falcon. I would throw the Hail Mary a few times. You're close to the end zone here. You got nothing to lose. Throw it up and let's see if one of your players can make a miraculous catch. Why not?
At this point,
anything can happen, right? Doesn't look like they're going to do that. It looks like they're going to run their basic offense. They might run a screen or something, but
Snell fires to the far side. Again, they don't have a timeout, so that stops the clock as Harris is out of bounds at the 32-yard line. We will see the Falcons twice more on Monday nights the rest of the way in the middle of the season against Pittsburgh at Three Rivers. And then they'll wrap up the season against San Francisco in the Georgia Dome on January 3rd, 2000.
Pittsburgh pulled out a tough one against Baltimore yesterday. They are now 2-0.
2nd and 1 here. From the 32-yard line. And now setting up the screen, and that's off the hand of Tanscott. We will also see the Dallas Cowboys twice more on Monday nights this year against the Giants in the Deion revisit at Giant Stadium in October.
Well, the first thing I can tell you right now, this is maybe a message to the Giants more than anything. Don't kick the ball to Deion Sanders. So the Giant punter, Brad Maynard, don't kick the ball to Deion Sanders.
Not after last season.
Right.
This will be the first time since the Super Bowl came into existence following the '66 season that each of the Super Bowl participants will have started the subsequent season with records of 0-2. That's what we've got.
That's salary cap. That's injuries, and it's parity is really what it comes down to.
There you go. You take a look at the Super Bowl teams that started 0-2. One little thing here was the Giants in 1987. The Giants, and there it is again. The Giants in '87 started 6-9, or finished 6-9. They started 0-5 that year, but under mitigating circumstances. That was the year of the strike. They were 0-2 with the real guys, and 0-3 with the others.
We were 4-11 that year. I think we were 1-1 with the real. I don't know what we were with the real guys. I don't even remember that year. That's long gone from my memory.
Cannell, and he just gets swatted down by Pepe Zellner. And that's the way it will end as the Atlanta Falcons drop to 0-2 and the Dallas Cowboys come from behind win against Washington and follow it up with a 24-7 victory over the Falcons. And so only 3 undefeated teams in the NFC after 2 weeks. The Lions and Cowboys at 2-0 and the Rams at 1-0. 24-7, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Falcons. We'll be back in a moment with the play of the game.